I think I can just project.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe for like effect, I could come in.
So first of all, I just want to show you, like, can you see this? Right, can you see what's going on here?
Yeah.
So there are like, yeah? You can see it? Alright, okay, so there are 3 dots on the screen. And the first 2 dots, it's like a line, right? It's a line. You following so far, right? And then the second line is like, it's slightly different. You see it's a bit shorter and it's a bit angled. And if I change this, then it just like continues it forward. So if I make it longer, it continues further. If I do it shorter, whoa. And don't click. and if I turn it around like this, it starts to make these shapes, right? Whoa, okay. Did you see that? Right, and I can like set the new line and then do this, but I can also like pull it here and it does like that thing, and then I go around like this. And it, anyway, so this is nothing to do with my talk. So yeah, my name is Lou, or Luke, either's fine. And yeah, I work at TL Draw, we're in Finsbury Park. I've got some colleagues here today, we're really lovely. I'm also a researcher in residence at Ink and Switch. Oh yeah, I do a podcast called The Future of Coding, and I have a new computer collective that I set up with 3 of my friends called Tentpole. A couple of people are asking, sometimes some of the talks I give at Future of Coding, they're a bit strange, they're a bit unusual, but today I'm really sorry to disappoint really, because this is going to be a very normal talk. So yeah, it's a very normal. Thank you for coming. No, I'm joking. So yeah, this is called Death of the Tadi Web. So this I have a little bit more time, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to go really fast. So a long time ago, 3 people told me to make a blog on the same day. Well, actually, someone said a wiki. I should make a wiki. The other person said a blog. Someone else said a digital garden. Right. So I took that as a message from the gods to make a website, and I wanted to make a website. I wanted to make some tooling around my website too. And so I thought, I heard about this thing called local first. Have you heard of local first? Like jazz is local first, right? So I decided that I needed to make my website local first, right? Which means that it's it works really well offline. I can do stuff on the tube a lot. I'm often on the tube. And I decided to make a local first website, right? But then I heard about this thing called permacomputing, right? And I decided that my website needed to it needed to do permacomputing as well. If you can so it needed to be really sustainable, needed to last a very long time and stuff like that. But then I discovered this thing called Indie Web, right? So I decided that my website, right? Okay, needed to sort of adhere to Indie Web as well. And there's also this thing called Robust First, which is kind of where I got started really. I can't believe I forgot it, but I decided I was going to use Robust First principles as well, which means the code I write is like super resilient to error and death. And I decided, yeah, my website is gonna be all 4 of these things. And then I discovered that there's this thing called the cheap web as well, which I decided I also needed to do. And there's also this thing called the small web, which is great. It's like this whole movement and community. Then I just get, but not to be confused with the small web, which unfortunately they need to update their certificates. But not to be confused with the small web, which is something completely different. And then there's also Project Gemini and the Spartan web and the Gopher web and that ecosystem, all under one tree. Not many trees. And also Cozy Web, I discovered this through Maggie's digital garden. And yeah, I decided, okay, I was gonna do them all. But then I discovered there's this thing called Cold-Blooded Software. This is a new one by Patrick. And there's also a Humane Web, which is very new, very cool, nice design. Sustainable Web, which is different to permacomputing, but they have a whole manifesto. There's also, there's another small web. And there's also freewheeling apps. There's, by the way, Indie Space Web is different to Indie Web. I read a blog about this, right? So, but it's like, so in this one they're saying you should do this one, not this one. But I decided I want to do both, right? So, and there's also the social web, and there's also the personal web, which are like literally like this month. Right, these two, and so I decided my website was going to do all of these, and I did the only thing that you can possibly logically do in this situation, and I made a new one called the Tadi Web. Right, so what is this? Right, what is this, right? Let's zoom out a bit, right? What are we doing here? It's like Anselm said, we're trying to make computing better. I call these better computing. And there are all these big grand movements to make computing better, right? And so the Tadi Web, let me tell you what the Tadi Web is, right? The Tadi Web is to adhere to the Tadi Web, you need to adhere to all better computers. All of them. You can't miss any of them out. All of them that exist now, have existed, or will exist. So this changes over time. Do you know what that means? It's that the Tadi Web is sort of like contained within itself, right? Yeah? Yeah? It's crazy what you can do on PowerPoint nowadays. So the Tadi Web is many things, right? But one of the things it is, it's a parody, right? It's satirical, right? It's just kind of, it's a joke, right? You know, no more ideas. No more. We have enough. Right? It's a joke. Some people saying that, well, that's ridiculous. You can't have no more ideas. It's a parody, right? It's a joke. But as well as being a joke, it's also what I've spent the last 12 months of my life religiously doing, right? Why? Why not? Right? Like if we go back to these, like tell me, which one of these do you disagree with? Local first? Do you think local first is bad? No, you don't. Do you think permacomputing? No, permacomputing's good. Right? These are all good. These are all good. They're not, and I don't think they're competing with each other, right? I think they can make each other better, right? But here's the bigger problem. It's not why. It's more like how, right? Like how can you possibly do all of that? How? And you have to bear in mind that I'm a really, really bad coder. I'm so bad at coding. So this is what I figured out. This is my idea. Do as little as possible, right? Because like, as soon as I start coding, that's when the problems come, right? So that's step one. This is my idea. This is just my idea of how to do the Tadi Web, right? This is not the Tadi Web. This is how I'm currently approaching the Tadi Web. Another one is embrace death. This is a photo opportunity, right? So embrace death, and what I mean by that is like if you're trying to meet all of these different criteria to do all of these better computing, you're going to fail often. You're going to fail soon. Like I said, like it changes over time as more better computings appear, right? So embrace death. Like let go of your code. Like there's no point building heaps upon heaps upon heaps when the better the Tadi Web's going to change over time. So embrace death. And also adopt the slippy mindset. I call that the slippy mindset, and some people are asking about this. So what I want to show you is some stuff that I've been making with the Tadi Web. This is something I made with the Tadi Web. Like this is local first, doesn't mean much here. And yeah, like so I put out this slippy mindset. This Tadi Web website adheres to the Tadi Web. I need to refresh because it's so buggy because it's a Tadi Web. My website, I did make my website. I couldn't decide whether to actually do a wiki or a blog or a garden. So it's just a wiki or a garden. Remember, like we have all these different ideas. We can merge them together, right? So and my website is powered by this. This is how I make my RSS feed. So I just go here and I say this is a sample item, and I just put in like a link. You know, you can do anything with RSS, it's crazy. And then I just paste it here, and then like that's how I do my feed, right? Easy. I also do it for my patrons. So I put out my like weekly updates for patrons using the same system made on the Tadi Web. I also let people like vote on what videos I make for YouTube, and they can sort of like change their little character that appears in the credits of my videos. This is all built using the Tadi Web. You don't need anything else. Oh, loading, yeah, and here it is. This is what appears in the credits. These were all the patrons. And the thing is, like, I've been like, because it's so new, right? The Tadi Web's so new. I've had to figure out like everything. I've had to start from scratch, right? So like, this is one of the earlier experiments. Like, it's just a button that goes up and it sort of persists. And so this button has been clicked 400,000 times by some very enthusiastic supporters. It used to show a graph here, but unfortunately, the history is too large at the moment, but I'm trying to fix it. Look, okay, so I've been trying to make, so I think it's like when you're making scrappy fiddles, right? It's very easy to make single player stuff. The fun thing about a web and the Tadi Web is that other people are on the other side. So this is a message left to me from a previous visitor. I should have checked that before. But thanks, babe. All right. This was another experiment I made, which is like sort of experiment because I had to like figure out like how do we do auth when my code is terrible, when my code could die at any second. So these are some lockers. Most of them are locked, but if you look inside, there are. Okay, if you're looking, yeah, there are all these sorts of messages. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what people have done is they've like left little riddles that tell you the passwords to some of the other lockers, which is pretty nice. And this is my new microblogging site called Login, and this is all built on the Tadi Web. You forget Twitter, forget Blue Sky, forget Mastodon, whatever it is. Just post Joe Biden. Okay. Rosie says, hi future coding, PayPal me $5,000. No. So it's really fun when you make stuff in a radically simple way, because it means people with no coding experience can give you little PRs that add little colors to their names, which has been very fun. The problem is you really have to start everything from scratch. So like I had to build like this little nice one. I had to build this little formatter which turns your asterisks into italics. So like you can put like these asterisks here to do emphasis, but you can actually add more to do more emphasis. So the fancy look, if you do enough. I think the thing is like when you're building in such a radically simple way. You can get away with way more stupid stuff. I had to figure out how to get like a video player.
Welcome back.
Ooh. This was this. I had to figure out how can people pay me using Tadi Web technologies. So here it is. It's just a Stripe link that doesn't work in an iframe apparently. But you know, that's one of my favorite ones, and it's crazy how many people click this button. Like I've been trying to make my Tadi Web code editor right here. Obviously, it has like very quick updates. You can type whatever you want here. And oh yeah, it has this other counter here, local first. The fun thing is like when you work with such radical simplicity, you can do crazy stuff, right? So let me show you. Like, do you see that? Do you know what this is? Right, this is the code for this code editor inside itself, right? So like I can edit it on the fly like this. I can put in like style. Wait, no, I've already got style, color. This is my first line. Okay, nice. Background color. Black. Now we're in Tadi Web depth colors. Look, you can make a web browser on the Tadi Web, and because it's all sort of like decided by you, you can put your own post at the top, so it's always at the top. Nice. And the thing is, so like I'm gonna hurry up towards the end, but like So what I usually do is I usually make creative tools and canvases like this, and I was worried that that kind of thing, like making creative canvas tools in the Tadi Web, would be impossible. But it's sort of like by forcing myself to be so limited with what I could do, I realized that you can do a lot with just very simple things. So this is a little drawing app, and I'm going to try and draw a face. So like I've drawn a circle here, and I'm going to go draw the eyes, and can you see what the problem is? Is that like if you move the pencil around, so you have to go back in with the rubber. And you right, I'm just gonna, hold on, and then I just. Right. Oh, shit. And then, do you know what? Don't worry about it. So like, I think some people are disappointed when they have to work so simply, but like, simple things can be fun. What's this one? Right. Look at this. So the thing with the Tadi Web is that like anything I make, I basically have to make it within an afternoon or like a couple hours. And then you start from scratch. So it sort of becomes this weird like speed running, you know, like speed running coding. What is this one? Yeah, right. Like look at this. Look at this. I think the thing is like when you code in a speedrunning way, you end up making weird stuff that you don't know what it means yet. But this is something I made like last week. If I have time, I would really love to.
Minutes, keep going.
Yeah, I really would love to share with you this website which I made using Tadi Web principles. It's inspired by a talk by Brett Victor, which there might be some Brett Victor fans here. So what you do is you draw a fish, and right, and then you press submit, and then you get a motivational quote by Brett Victor.
Everything was so flat and static and lifeless.
I can never beat the first level, but I want to show you this one. This one is, I like this one because you have to. So I'm just drawing the eyes and some bubbles and some speed lines.
It's all right there. I can see it. Do you see it?
I don't see it. And this is the last one I want to show you. I don't think I would have made this work if it wasn't for like the Tadi Web sort of prompting me to work in such a simplistic way. Right, here it is. So the problem, so the problem is, you know, I said no more ideas, and unfortunately, the Tadi Web has become an idea. So the Tadi Web has died. But also, unfortunately, some people have been starting to run with this, and it's completely out of my control. And now there are people out there on the internet building things with the Slippy mindset. Is it a joke? Is it also what people enjoy doing and trying to do? The Tadi Web is dead. Long live the Tadi Web.